my dear angel. Did you sleep well last night? As for me, I think about the story between Totto-chan and the conductor at the station, and I understand that your excitement for collecting small tickets comes from the shared enthusiasm of the children on the edge to the new and vast world that's outside. I find them so very adorable. And that you have carefully and seriously stored your tickets in beautifully decorated boxes makes me appreciate your hobby and work even more. I'm glad to understand you better in such a way. So today, let us continue our journey with Totto-chan when she's on her way to the new school where the principal is waiting, and Totto-chan's mother was worried all the way whether Totto-chan could be approved. The little girl at the window. The reason mother was worried was that although Totto-chan has only just started school, she had already been expelled. Fancy being removed from the first grade. It had happened only a week ago. Mother had been sent for by Totto-chan's homeroom teacher, who came straight to the point. Your daughter disrupts my whole class. I must ask you to take her to another school. The pretty young teacher sighed. You know, I'm really at the end of my tether. Mother was utterly taken aback. What on earth did Totto-chan do to disrupt the whole class? She wondered. Blinking nervously and touching her hair, the teacher started to explain. Well, to begin with, she opens and shuts her desk hundreds of times. I said that no one is to open or shut her desk unless they have to take something out or putting something away. So, your daughter is constantly taking something out and putting something away. Taking out or putting away her notebook, her pencil box, her textbooks, and everything else on her desk. For instance, say we are going to write the alphabet. Your daughter opens her desk, takes out her notebook, and bangs the top down. Then she opens her desk again, puts her head inside, gets out the pencil, quickly sets that bang, and then write an A. If she miswrite or made a mistake, she opens the desk again, takes out an eraser, shuts the desk, erases the letter, then open and shuts the desk again to put away the eraser, all at top speed. Then she read an A over again. She puts every single item back into the desk, one by one. She puts away the pencil, shuts the desk, and then opens it again to put away the notebook. Then, when she gets to the next letter, she goes through it all again. First the notebook, then the pencil, then the eraser, opening and shutting her desk every single time. It makes my head spin, you know. And I even can't scold her because she opens and shuts it repeatedly for her reason. The teacher's long eyelashes fluttered even more as she had relayed the scene in her mind. It suddenly dawned on her mother why Totto-chan opened and shut her desk so often. She remembered how excited Totto-chan has been when she came home from her first day at school. And she said, "School is wonderful, Mommy. My desk at home has a drawer you pull out, but the one at school has a top you lift up. It's like a box, and you can keep all sorts of things inside. Imagine, Mommy, it's super." Mother pictured her delightedly opening and shutting the lid of the new desk, and she didn't think it was all the naughty either. Anyway, Totto-chan could probably stop doing it as soon as the novelty wore off. Think so, but all she said to the teacher was, "I'll speak to her about it." But the teacher's voice rose in pitch as she continued. I couldn't mind if that was all. Mother flinched as the teacher leaned forward. When she's not clattering with her desk, she stand up, all through class. Standing up? But where? Asked Mother, surprised. At the window. The teacher replied crossly. But why is she stand at the window? Mother asked, puzzled. So she can invite the street musicians over. The teacher almost shrank. The gist of the teacher's story was that after an hour of almost constantly banging the desktop, Totto-chan would leave her desk and stand by the window, looking out. Then, just as the teacher was beginning to think, as long as she was quiet, she might just as well stay there, Totto-chan would suddenly call out for a passing band of dressed musicians. To Totto-chan's delight and the teacher's jubilation, the classroom was on the ground floor looking out on the street. There was only a low height between, so anyone in the classroom could easily talk to people going by. When Totto-chan called to them, the street musicians could come to right to the window. Whereupon, said the teacher, Totto-chan would announce the fact to the whole class. Hey, here they are! And all the children would crowd by the window, of course, and call out to the musicians. Play something, Totto-chan would say, and the little band, which usually passed the school quietly, would put on a rousing performance for the pupils with their clarinet, gongs, drums, and samisen, while the poor teacher could do little but waiting patiently for the din to stop. Finally, when the music finished, the musician would leave and the students could come back to their seats. All except Totto-chan. Then when the teacher asked, why are you still there? Totto-chan replied quite seriously, another band might come by. And anyway, it would be such a shame if the other came back and we missed them. You can see how disruptive all this is, can't you? Said the teacher emotionally. Mother was beginning to sympathize with her when she started again in an even shriller voice. And then, besides, what else does she do? Asked Mother with a sinking feeling. What else? Exclaimed the teacher. If I could even count the things she does, I wouldn't ask you to take her away. The teacher composed herself a little and then looked straight at Mother. Yesterday, Totto-chan was standing at the window as usual, and I went on with the lesson thinking she was just waiting for the street musicians, when she suddenly called out for somebody. What are you doing? From where I was, I couldn't see who she was talking to, and I wondered what was going on. Then she called out again. What are you doing? She wasn't addressing anyone on the road, you know, but somebody high up somewhere. I couldn't help but being curious and tried to hear the reply, but there wasn't anything. Despite that, your daughter kept calling out, what are you doing? So often, I couldn't teach. So I went to the window to see who your daughter was talking to. And when I put my head out of the window and looked up, oh my, I saw a pair of swallows making a nest under the classroom eaves. She was talking to the swallows. Now, I understand children, and so I'm not saying that talking to swallows is nonsense. But it's just, I feel it's pretty unnecessary to ask swallows what they are doing in the middle of the class. Before mother could open her mouth to apologize, the teacher went on. Then there was the drawing class episode. I asked the children to draw the Japanese flag, and all the others drew it correctly. But your daughter started drawing the Navy flag. You know, the one with the rays. Nothing wrong with that, of course, I know. But then she suddenly started to draw a fringe all around it. Yeah, the fringe. You know, like those fringes on the youth group banners. She's probably seen one somewhere. But before I realized that what she was doing, she had drawn a yellow fringe that went right off the edge of the paper and onto her desk. You imagine, her flag took up most of the paper, so there wasn't enough room for the fringe. So she took her yellow crayon and all around her flag she made hundreds of strokes and extended beyond the paper, so that when she lifted the paper, her desk was a mass of dreadful yellow marks that wouldn't come off no matter how hard we rubbed. Oh, fortunately, the lines were only on 3 sides. Puzzle, mother asked quickly. What do you mean on 3 sides? Although she seemed to getting tired, the teacher was kind enough to explain. She drew a flagpole on the left, so the fringe was only on 3 sides of the flag. Mother felt somewhat relieved, so she said, I see, so only on 3 sides. Whereupon the teacher said very slowly, emphasizing each word. But most of the flagpole went off the paper too, and is still on the desk as well. Then the teacher got up and said coldly, as a parting shot, I'm not the only one who is upset. The teacher in the classroom next door has also had trouble. Mother obviously had to do something about it. It wasn't fair to the other pupils. She'd have to find another school. A school where they would understand her little girl and teach her how to get along with other people. And the school then they were on their way to was one the mother has found after a good deal of searching. But mother didn't tell Totto-chan she has been expelled. Totto-chan couldn't understand what she was doing wrong, and mother didn't want also to make her little girl to get any complexes. So she decided not to tell Totto-chan until she was grown up. All mother said was, how would you like to go to a new school? I've heard of a very nice one. All right, said Totto-chan after thinking over it. But what is it now? Thought mother. Does she really realize that she's been expelled? But just a moment later, Totto-chan was asking joyfully, do you think the street musicians will come to the new school too, Mommy? Totto-chan and Mom went to the new school just that way. This chapter is over. How do you feel about Totto-chan? But now sleep well, my dear, and think of her when possible. We'll see each other again soon at the tomorrow bedtime story.